circle, and no, we're live. There's no 4 3 2 1. It's what's happening right now. So we are live, back with another Money Moves. I'm excited. Wendy, it's great to see you again. I hope you're excited to be here as well.
I am.
I can tell by the enthusiasm. Jeez.
So football is over.
That's right. That's right. She's bummed, everybody, because her Eagles lost, so she's still crying about it, But anyway, no big deal. So today, there's a lot going on in the economy, right? So we're going to be talking about your spending plan, your budget, right? What should I do? I mean, things have changed, right? Yep. So what you don't want to keep doing is using old information and old data points that you created into the new situation that we're in. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about changing your spending plan or changing your budget. Is it the right time, or is it? Question mark. So do us a favor before we get started, click that little subscribe button down below. Show some love. Valentine's Day, right? Love. Show us some love.
Oh, yeah, today.
Algorithms. Yeah. So, look at that. And then share it with your friends. Let them know, hey, we're getting ready to get started. And we're going to be talking about your spending plan, scarcity mindset, what should really be going on with your money so you can make some money moves that are going to impact you in a positive way. So we'll get started in just a second. Welcome back, everybody, and we are live on this happy Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to all you viewers out there. And
what are you going to say to me?
Well, happy Valentine's Day to you too. So, and if you're out there, and I know there's a lot of Galentine's Days events going on, guys don't really do that. So if you're flying solo, that's okay. Know that we here at Black Swan Money love you and think you're awesome too. So, but let's talk about what's going on. I mean, obviously, eggs, gas, food, air, whatever. It's all gotten expensive, right? And I don't see any end in sight of that. Eggs did drop a little bit in price last week, which is kind of crazy to think about. I think, the tides are turning a little bit, but there's a lot going on, and, there's a whole lot of conspiracy stuff going on too, which we're not going to get in on this show. There's Joe Rogan for that, but, which if you don't follow that, I'm sure you do. Show some love, Joe. Follow us back. So anyway, it's when we talk about building a spending plan, and most people still don't have a budget, we like to call it a spending plan, right? Wendy coined that phrase. And it's something that it makes it a little more realistic, I think. And it doesn't mean you have to have, stop having the lattes or whatever at Starbucks. But when things change like they do, you can't keep your same budget in place. Things are changing. It's going to go off the rails. So you've got to adjust, right? And that's one of the things that Wendy and I talk about, and I talk about with my clients as well. I mean, you should be having a family financial meeting, if you will. I always tell everybody, grab a bottle of wine. It makes it a little softer conversation. But you should be doing that twice a month, the 1st and 15th, or whenever you pay your bills, first half, second half kind of deal, for 30 minutes. Just a quick cap on, hey, what's going on? Are we going over budget? So you can adjust accordingly, right? I don't know your thoughts, Wendy. What do you think?
Well, I was going to say, I actually did this, went through this little program about a year ago. And one of the things they talked about that I thought was really cool, they said, taking care of your finance is self-care. And I've never heard anyone really put it that way. I thought that's so smart. So taking, for me, for instance, I just have myself at this point that I'm, and my kids, but as far as the income and the budget, it's all on me. Yep. And so I try and look at that now. Sunday night, in fact, I did it yesterday, is a little self-care time. And that's working on my spending plan and making sure that my house is in order and reviewing, like you said, John, like things have changed. And I went back and I'm like, okay, what has my spending really looked like in the last few months? With the price of gas and groceries, and just like businesses, right? They have to adjust and set new budgets and all of that. We can't set one time and just You're
You
like,
think that's going to last me? Okay, that's it forever, right? This is the only, I got a budget. I feel good about myself. No, it's got to be a living, breathing document, right? Just like, things change in your world. You start making more money, you start making less money, layoffs, what's a want versus need kind of deal.
mm-hmm.
And we had a lady that follows us on our chat. She put, she was considering buying different vehicles or get rid of her. And I asked her, I said, well, here's the question for you. Every financial decision I make now, not every single, if I'm going to go buy a Snicker bar, I don't ask myself this, but bigger purchases, things like that, or adjustments. Is this decision moving me closer or further away to my financial goals?
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep that little phrase in the back of your head, you'd be surprised at how it can help you. And that's a good rule of thumb as far as whether you should make a purchase, or sell something or whatever the case may be, or stop doing something or doing something. Is this decision moving me closer or further away from my financial goals? And not updating your spending plan. It's like you'd update a will or things like that. You should update your spending plan too, up or down, right?
Yeah.
Up or down.
Yeah. So I could have looked at, I'm going to be honest. I looked at my spending plan and I looked at one of my line items, personal care. It's a little high. It's a little high. And I was like, okay, do I cut? Do I need to cut this? I don't know.
Can we get a little personal? What are you talking about here? Is it
so
like hair and nails and stuff, or?
It is. I don't do a ton. Like I'm not a big shopper. Like I don't have all my fancy bags my aunt bought me. I don't buy clothes. I don't buy shoes. And so I have this little debate with myself. I get my lashes done and I get my nails done. And I love it. And it makes me feel good. And it makes me feel like showing up online. And I just really enjoy it. And then I'm like, should I just do the glue on lashes and the press on nails and call it quits?
Okay, so you bring up a good point, right? You bring up a good point. And a lot of people would say, yeah, you should. Or I guarantee there's some people out there saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's spending money on, that stuff, right? Oh, it's crazy. But here's the end of the deal. I mean, don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Worry about your own situation, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a good rule of thumb I was raised with. It's like, okay, focus on you. Don't compete with others as far as, like compare yourself to others, right? Compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Same thing with finances and stuff like that. I mean, and it's all relative, right? But we've talked about mindset a lot in the past, right? And that right there, that statement, and most people, I want you to hear me on this, that statement that she made, should I cut this back? And that's what most of us do. We tighten the belt, right? We tighten the belt when things go wrong. That is a middle class learned trait. Okay. You are coming into it with a middle class scarcity mindset. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to insult you or anything like that, but because I've done the same thing. Oh God, I got to cut back my spending because, things are more expensive. I'm spending more money on food or whatever. But what wealthy people do versus middle class, what do? We tighten the belt. We cut back. Nope, kids can't do this because, things are tight now. Budget's tight. And so and I'm sure you've heard that from your parents in the past too. So we're ingraining that in our children. Okay, when finances get tough, we got to stop spending everything. Okay, we got to stop doing stuff and this and the other. Wealthy people, this is how they look at that same problem. Okay, my expenditures have gone up. My costs have gone up through no control of my own. I'm not spending or I'm not buying more stuff, but my cost of that stuff has gone up. Okay. How do I cover that increase in cost? How do I afford to pay for that rather than I can't afford to do it? Let's stop. Now they're not continuing to spend and they're not using credit cards. They don't think, well, I can survive on my credit cards and make that money. No, that's not what I'm saying. Do not do that. Do not go into debt for liabilities. Okay. But figure out a way to increase your income, whether it's getting a raise or this, that, or the other. And I guarantee most of you didn't get a raise to cover inflation. If you didn't get an 8% raise last year, you are making less money in 2023, hands down, period. They're getting you to do the same work or more for less money, okay, less buying power. But going back to what I was saying, you look at how can I increase my income? And unfortunately, most people in middle class, again, this is what we're taught, go out, get an education, do good in school, get a good job, right? A job, work hard. They're going to reward you. And that's how you make your income. So that's one income stream. Well, we talk about diversification when it comes to growing. And most people get that. You would never put all your wealth in one stock. You would never put all your 401k into one stock. People would look at you like you're crazy, right? But those same people do the same thing when it comes to their income stream. They have one source. They're putting all their eggs in one basket. So just like you diversify your wealth strategy, you should be diversifying your tax strategy, and you definitely should be diversifying your income streams. Okay?
Yeah. No, and I can attest to this big time, right? 'Cause I have multiple streams of income. I don't know. Last time I counted, I think I had 6. And I would say 3 or 4 primary ones.
Mhm.
And right now, one of them that was a steady 6, 8 grand a month has been cut in a third, right?
Yeah, that's not
And
good. That's not a third off, folks. That's down to a third of what it was.
down to a third of what it was. Yes. So cut 2/3, right?
Yeah.
And if that was my only stream of income, which I know a lot of people that are in the boat where that's their only stream of income, I'd be really freaking out right now. Really freaking out. But I, practice what we preach here, and I have multiple streams of income. And where, that has gone down, I have other things that have been increased and added to. And so, in a business like we're in with the financial stuff, we are a little bit more recession proof than say like my other business where we are selling supplements and things that, it's the first thing people cut. Right. And so, yeah, I would never put all my eggs in one basket again, because I did that in the past. And when it went backwards, it created lots of debt. And that's what I think happens, right? I'm starting to see people like they have that one stream of income and they put all their eggs in that basket. Then things go backwards and they then go in debt because they haven't created a plan. Even with one stream of income, like creating that plan of here's what I'm going to live off of. And as this goes up, I'm not going to increase my expenses constantly. Right. And
Yep.
then there's a turn in the economy like this, things decrease and then everyone's freaking out, racks up the
Well, and
debt.
that's
You dig yourself out later of the debt.
yeah, that's one of the big things, right? And it's one of those that you've got to look at. There are so many ways to make money. I mean, heck, we've got an affiliate program that that partners of ours are making like thousands of dollars, and they're not really doing a whole lot of work with it. And that's where you look at the affiliate programs, the side businesses, but you need to diversify your income stream. Or you can cut back or do a combination of both. Let me cut back temporarily. Let me get this other income stream going. But that's the way middle class needs to shift their mindset, not on I can't afford something, is how can I afford this? How can I have somebody else pay for this new car for me? How can I have somebody else pay for this rental property for me? Which that's easy because you put a tenant in it. They pay for the rental property, right? You can't rent your car, or can you? Uber, right? Lyft. You're renting out. There's another one too where you can actually rent your car out. I don't know that I'd be comfortable doing that, but I can do Uber or whatever. So my point is there's a lot of different income sources, but you've got to think about that stuff, folks. So, that's kind of the closing thought today is, you should definitely look at your spending plan every quarter, right? Are we on track or not, right? If you're not, adjust accordingly and then adjust back later, but look at it every quarter and adjust, but don't just lock into, okay, I've got to cut back. No, let's look at diversifying my income stream. And I'm not talking to getting a side gig at some, big box store for X per hour, right? I'm talking about what do I like to do? How can I figure out how to get paid for that? If you're good at drawing or things like that, hop on Fiverr, do some design work. There's stuff like that. I mean, but think out of the box. But it's time for middle class to stop thinking about, I can't afford this. Stop financing your liabilities too. Stop financing your liabilities. Figure out a way for your business or a business that you start, have that pay for it. That's really going to shift you from that middle class mindset of just getting by paycheck to paycheck to really start building wealth. So. Yeah.
Good stuff.
I know, right? So do us a favor, show some love, click the subscribe button. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And thank you so much for your support on this. We're coming up on our 100th video. I can't believe it. We've been doing this for a minute. So this is great stuff. And we're growing. Our channel's growing. We're getting about 1,000 views on each of our videos from all of our channels on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, right? But do us a favor. If you like what you see, please, please, please give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to share it and come out to blackswanmoney.com. That's our main feed on YouTube, and subscribe. You'll be up to date on all the fresh stuff. We've got Black Swan Money Club getting ready to launch. I'm excited about that. We're actually going to have some live interviews and behind the scenes stuff where you can actually get additional information on different strategies and deep dive information from experts in the industry on how you can do this stuff. So everybody have a happy Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next week here on Money Moves.